our Bangladeshi community lost a great leader and respected elder, Mr. Rashad Chaudhry, my uncle, who had a vision for this community and such positive energy that he would bring with him always. And I know he would be sitting here today. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rest him in Jannatul Firdaus. And thank you so much for all the kind words, because it really encouraged me to get up here, because it was really difficult writing this speech. I've never had this difficulty, actually, even in my first speech in 2018, writing my speech in 2018, because throughout all of this, there is someone whose presence that we're unable to feel. And his name is Rizwan Rahman. The man who hold you up, and he would let your wing find its own strength. That's who Rizwan was. And he would let you continue your own journey. And he was a smile that would have greeted you as you walked in through those doors, like he did in 2022. And then he spoke so eloquently right here on this stage last time that we were here for the nomination. He's a great mentor, a brother, an optimistic community leader, and my beloved husband. And I hope you'll join me in praying that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rest him in Jannatul Firdaus as well. I know that many friends of my husband, Rizwan, are in this room as well. And today you're here for him, and I want to say thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful to have you all here, and to call you my family, and thank you for your love and support, and for your dua for him and for my family. We know why we're here today. And we're here because we're facing an imminent threat to our economy. And while we already are facing one of the worst economic crises in the history of this province, we're facing an imminent threat from the south. At the same time, we have an election when we should be all coming together, regardless of politics, as a united front to face and fight back against the threat of the Trump tariffs. And that threat, as Marek talked about, is real. Of an economic war that will deepen the hardship, the struggle that we're facing right now. No matter how hard you work, how hard you try, it's just not enough. And I know I've heard from many of you in this room as well. After emptying your wallet at the grocery store, you just look at your bag and it doesn't even feel heavy enough. It's like you spent so much money and you don't even know what you bought. It's not enough groceries to take home for your family. Some of you have made this place your home recently or some years ago and have left everything behind. And now you're being told that there are no jobs for you, no opportunities for you. But this government doesn't want to talk about any of that. They don't want to talk about the people or the reality that we are facing in this province. I talk to people who are barely keeping up with their rent or their mortgages and living with anxiety that if they can actually keep a roof over their heads. And for those dreaming of buying a home, that seems like an impossible dream now. From the landlord-tenant board mess, to the AGI, to rent control removal, thousands waiting on the housing wait list. And I know some people have come to our office. It's one of the biggest issues that we continue to face since 2018. And let's look at healthcare. I spent a lot of time in the hospitals the past year with loved ones, a bitter, bitter experience. And I pray that no one ever goes through that. Waiting in the emergency room for hours, even after being taken by an ambulance. Stuck on the hallway. And at the same time, the Ontario Health Coalition last year reported that we had 868 emergency room closures. 868. Or waiting for surgeries, not having a family doctor. And if you have one, then waiting for months to get an appointment. And did you know there are about 2.5 million people in Ontario? And we're talking about Canada, in Ontario, 2.5 million people who don't have a family doctor. Over the years, we have seen OHIP coverage decrease so that you have to now pay things out of pocket for care. And one of the dreams that we know about Canada is our healthcare system. It's a pride, right? Now let's talk about education. From fighting education workers, large class sizes, to broken schools, actual structures falling apart. Actually, this past year, last summer, I attended a lot of graduation ceremonies. And I was in one of the middle schools, and during the graduation ceremony, the roof started leaking. Like on kids who were celebrating their achievement, getting their certificates, the roof was leaking on them. Is this the Ontario we want to build? Now let's look at the record of Truth and Reconciliation. This government refused to recognize the Day of Truth and Reconciliation, failing children who can't even imagine a future in their communities. First Nations children committing suicide in their communities without the basic living standards. Young people making pacts to commit suicide in Ontario. We have failed to provide clean drinking water in Canada. And the ongoing poisoning of people in the grassy narrows. Their attack on the environment, I could go on. They're spending $120 billion on a highway tunnel under the 401. There is a lot of things I've listed that some of the other speakers talked about, so I'm going to move on and say that they have a legacy. This government, the Conservatives, have a legacy of a lot of failures, and this election is a destruction for those failures. They don't want us talking about that. But we cannot forget why we ended up in 2018 with a Conservative government. Why did we end up with the Conservatives and Doug Ford in the first place? Because after 15 years of Liberal government and Liberal failures, people were fed up. And we ended up with hospitals crowded, broken schools, thousands and thousands on the wait list for housings, and people facing unemployment. Our province was left by the Liberals in one of the worst economic conditions in history. And let's not forget the scandals after scandals and the mismanagement that they had. And now they have a leader who you can't even tell the difference between the Liberal leader and the Conservative leader. They have their own version of Doug Ford. Now, both the Conservatives and the Liberals, they don't want to talk about the people or this province or the reality we're facing because they cannot run on their own record. They don't have a past that they can be proud of. I and the Ontario NDP, we're running on our record. I am running on my record in Scarborough Southwest. We built something extraordinary in 2018. We fought for better childcare workers, better childcare for workers. We fought for road safety. We fought during COVID-19. We fought the Ministry of Health to give us more vaccines in one of the hardest hit communities, which was right here in Scarborough. We fought and got vaccines and protective gear for healthcare workers in long-term care homes in Scarborough. Sometimes we even had to get donations to make sure that our businesses, our hospitals, our long-term care homes had enough protective gear so they could be safe taking care of their patients. We raised the bar for politicians in 2018, and in 2022, people saw that. We redefined the meaning of representation, and you know that. You saw that happening over the past 6-7 years. Despite being an opposition member, I stood strong, continued that work. Together with this community, we pushed for real policy change in foreign credential recognition, where our bill has now been adopted by the government because they wouldn't pass our bill, so they took parts of our bill and made it part of their own legislation. But we'll take that, because that's what real change looks like, when you can propose real solutions and haven't even forced a government to adopt those policies. And more professionals are getting their skills recognized in Ontario, but there is still work to be done. We pushed the government for real change. From introducing bill on auto insurance discrimination, transit accessibility, illegal handgun control and safety, to anti-fracking legislation, to taking constituents to Parliament from here. We took people from Scarborough Southwest to Parliament to ask the tough questions to the Premier and to the ministers that impact our lives every single day. And we proposed real solutions to the government, and we held them to account. That's why we have a proven record that we can run on. We have a proven record of standing up for the people of Scarborough and the people of this province. Because to me and to all of us, people matter more. And you know, in 2022, there were just a few people, and Marstall is one of them, there are a few ridings that increased their voter counts across the province. Just a few, I think 3 maybe. And Scarborough Southwest was one of those. We did that. With a low voter turnout, we increased our percentage. We had almost 48% for the NDP here in Scarborough, 27 for the Conservatives, and 19 for the Liberals. And I know we have people from all political stripes who joined our movement because you believed in something better. You believed in all of us. You believed in our children's future. You believed that we can put political stripes behind and actually stand up for each other, stand up for our neighbors, stand up for people. And that's why we came together. And you all believed that better was possible. And our campaign has always been a movement of people from all walks of life. And this room is a perfect reflection of that. And thank you so very much. Our movement has always been a movement of people from all walks of life, sharing their joy and struggles, coming together and creating something beautiful. And I'm so grateful to have you all with me. And I know it wasn't easy the first time, and we cannot take this for granted this time either. We have to work hard, and together we will build that movement that puts people first. And together on February 27th, we will win Scarborough and win across this province. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for being here today. I am so grateful, and let's get this going because we are on your side. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.